Welcome everybody once again to BIZ NFL Football 2019. Week number 7 is upon us. It's a great day here in Northern California, the Bay Area, East Bay to be specific. It's windy, it's breezy, it's a little chilly, but we have sunny skies. And we have a great weekend of football lined up for you. I'm looking forward to this week. I'm going to go take my wife to see Joe Bonamassa at the Oakland Paramount tonight. A little dinner, a little show, fourth row. I featured Joe in my NCAA football video yesterday. The entire presentation was littered with Joe Bonamassa music. Really looking forward to seeing him tonight. Really looking forward to this weekend, and it is great to have all of you with me. A lot of new folks joining us this week. Welcome to all of you. My boy Tony has a buddy Rodney joining us. What's up, Rodney? Deli, your boys are here. John, Alex, Kevin, what's up, fellas? My boy Pete, Omaha Pete in the room. Pete, I hope you ran well last night. And PG, my boy PG, I showed him one of my videos. Dude says, oh, you kind of sound like Pharrell. You doing your Pharrell bit? What the fuck are you talking about? I sound like Pharrell. I'm not pouring beers. I don't sound like I choked down a handful of gravel. And I'm older than him. So when you're older than somebody, you don't sound like them. They sound like you. I was on the planet first. I do BIZ. That's what I do. And BIZ is doing pretty good. We are 53, 26, and 3 with last night's winner. I hope you all had it. 54, 26, and 3 in the NFL. We are rolling. So welcome to all of you that are joining me today for the first time, that have recently joined me. And of course, my guys that have been with me for years. Q, Michigan Mike, Dean, Mike Del Pizzi, Donnie Colbert, Scott, Andrew, and of course the man, the myth, the legend, my boy Florida Pete. You know who else is here? The crew. Stewie, the Biz, Rosie, my co-pilots. I'm here. You're here. Eddie Money is here like he is every week to start this off. Looking forward to week 7. Welcome everybody. I hope you're all having a great day. We're going to have a great week. We're going to keep this rolling. 6 consecutive winning weeks. We're going to go for 7 in a row this week. I've got a Florida Pete BIZ combo play. I got best bets. I got a stinker of the week. All kinds of stuff for the NFL Week 7. As always, thank you, my man Eddie Money, getting us rolling here to start off our week. You should hope to hear this every week because it only means one thing. You want to hear Billy Gibbons and his crew start us off with this. I love this. Yeah, you all just got paid. You followed my picks. You should all have a pocket full of change. 5-4-1, we picked up a couple units. Let's go over it. Philly, Minnesota over. Flew over. Told you that Minnesota defense is good, but in that dome, fast track, Philly was going to get there. That game was going to go over. Very comfortable winner. The BIZ Stewie best bet, Cincinnati, Baltimore. Bengals run the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. The Ravens go right back down and score a touchdown. It's 14-0 mid-first. And then the Bengals did what the Bengals do, nothing. 23-17, a nice 2-unit winner. Jacksonville just could not get rolling against that nasty Saints defense. Jacksonville showed up on D, but they just couldn't get it done for us. A loss. Texans over the Chiefs. We pushed it. 31 points in the half, then it kind of slowed down in the second half like I thought it would. The Texans just grinded the Chiefs, ran the ball, controlled the clock. That was that phenomenal system on the Chiefs. When they have a poor time of possession the previous game, they just go under the next game. You saw it last week. Phenomenal numbers. We got the push. Could have been a loss, could have been a win, could have been a push. We'll take a push. It's never bad to take a push. Tennessee, Denver over, never in doubt. As a loser. My God, Marcus Mariota, I love the kid, great story, but he just cannot throw the football. And that 2012 draft class with Jameis Winston and him, what a waste. The sooner those teams get rid of those guys, the better off they'll be. Just don't get it. Niners, Rams, under, never in doubt. Now the defense is nasty. I'm a Raider fan, but I got to give it up to those guys. And as I've always said for weeks, Shanahan could just draw it up like no other. One of the best offensive minds in the game, if not the best. He and Peyton. McVay is a great coach. The Jets, the stinker of the week. 7.5 points. Outright winner. We had both stinkers last week and win outright. We had our college stinker, Bowling Green, getting 27.5 points. You heard that right. Getting 27.5 points. They won outright. So both stinkers, outright winners. The teasers, I said buyout at halftime. I hope you saw that on Twitter. I suggested to buy out. Tennessee looked horrific. The last thing I was going to do was lose 3 units on that game. So I suggested to take Denver in the second half, buy out that teaser. They won 10-0. If you saw the Twitter and you bought out of it, good job. They were just never going to do anything in that game. Just horrible. It wasn't like they were driving the ball and turning it over. They didn't do anything. So 5-4-1, a couple units. Again, you're not going to buy a new car with last week's winnings, but you stack units every week. It's just like poker. Sometimes you win the big pots, sometimes you win the blinds, sometimes you win a little pot. As long as you're scooping pots, that's all that matters. You scoop enough pots and you see a bunch of chips in front of you. You know, you scoop enough units, 2 units here, 3 here, 4 here, half a unit here, drop a couple here. End of the season, you got a nice stack of units. So we're running good, 53, 26, and 3. We're up 23.5 units. We're hitting at 67%. And for those of you that are just joining me, this will not last the entire season. We're running really, really good right now. We will have some losing weeks. Those of you that have been with me for a while, you know, a couple years ago, we hit 60% for the entire season. We went 123-82, 200 plays. My best season ever, and we did just like this. We started off hot. First 6-7 weeks were really, really good. The next 4 or 5 weeks were kind of flat, and the end of the season was really good again. Then we went into the bowls and stuff and had a really nice football season. I'm not saying that the same thing's going to happen. Hopefully it doesn't. I'm just cautioning people that are just joining me and see the record. You know, don't think that every week we're going to kill it. Every week we're going to win. It's a long process, and always flat bet your games. If it's a 2-unit play, put 2 units on it. Let's not get carried away, but let's be humble and thankful that we're doing really well right now and hope that that can continue. So, my speech is done. You guys are tired of listening to me talk. Like, BIZ, yo, we love you, bud, but let's get on with the play. So, let's do just that. We're going to start off with the Rams and the Falcons under. Now, I was talking to a buddy of mine. Actually, I was talking to Florida Pete. And I said, what do you think of this game? Oh, I like the over. And I said, well, I kind of like the under. And so we were talking about this game. And this under spot features a couple systems that we've had recently. That top one is the previous 2 games teams allowed a lot of points, ton of points. The Falcons triggered it. Last week, the Rams triggered it when we had that under against the Niners that went way under. And it's triggered again this week. You see the record, 5-23. When you see a total that has O/U, that first number is the over, that second half is that second number is the under. If I don't specifically put under or over, then that's how you read that record. 5-23 is 23 unders and 5 overs. It's a very, very solid system. It's a nice contrarian system where teams giving up a lot of points, so your first inclination is, oh, they're just going to give up a lot of points again. And that, as you can see, is not the case. These teams tend to buckle down, give a little bit better defensive performance. So we're going to take this under here for Rams Falcons under 55. You see that bottom one, the attack a game on. It's the last 3 games allow a lot of points, which would be the Rams. I mentioned last week they triggered the 2-game system. They gave up 55 to the Buccaneers, 31, something like that, to the Seahawks. So that's about 84 points. They gave up another 20 points last week. So they've given up over 100 points the previous 3 games. And that is a spot that also triggers an under, as long as the opponent's scoring average is kind of poor, is not very good. The Falcons support that. Their scoring average per game is just under the number you need. So this system is also triggered at 76 unders and 34 overs. So we're going to take this under, the Rams and Falcons under 55. It might be 54.5 now. I believe that game may have ticked down a half a point since I put this together. Jared Goff, this guy's a good quarterback, but I don't know what the Rams are thinking giving this guy. What did they give him? $140 million bucks? So gave him a ton of money. These teams that just want to give quarterbacks a bunch of money because they had a good season or two. Sean McVay's the reason that offense clicks, not Jared Goff. You could get any competent quarterback and put him in that system and have McVay run that offense. Not run it, but from the sidelines, the coach, and you'll get some production. And it's the same with this Dak Prescott. This guy, Cowboys offer him a contract and he wants $30 million bucks a year or so. Those reports. And $30 million contracts are reserved for the elite. Breeze, Rodgers, Brady, Mahomes. I'll put Deshaun Watson in that category. Guys know I love that guy. Those guys get 30. Not just because you're on a good team doesn't mean you get $30 million. Just because the Vikings signed Kirk Cousins to a ridiculous contract, the guy that should be wearing a ski mask underneath his helmet every fucking week, doesn't mean that every other team has to. It's like, it drives me nuts. Well, he's getting $30 million. Why can't I? Because we're not stupid. That's why you're not. So, all right, my rant is done. Rams, Falcons. We'll take the under. Yeah. It's the stinker of the week. The BIZ stinker of the week. We've had a lot of stinkers before. I made this an official part of the show. Not show, presentation. Don't want to sound like I'm performing for you guys. We had the Raiders when they went to the Colts. They were kind of a stinker play that week. They weren't very good. They won. Last week the Jets won as a stinker. Now there is a stinker. I mentioned Bowling Green last week at college, getting 27.5 points. They won the game. So you got to earn the right to be a stinker of the week. And the Redskins qualifies that. Now you might be thinking, why on earth are we taking a team that just sucks, like the Redskins, against a team that's rolling, like the Niners? And there's a few things I like about this game. That top one in blue, the dog with the awful scoring margin. The scoring margin is your point differential compared to your to the opponent you're playing point differential. It's got to be like negative 20 or something like that. It's got to be like really wretched. Last week, as I mentioned, the Jets, our stinker, they qualified under this system and they won the game outright. This system's 18-2, not a huge sample size, but it's a really nice contrarian play where you look at a team, you're like, this team sucks. Not only do they suck, but their scoring margin is horrific. They get blown out left and right. Why on earth would we play this team? And if you notice, it says Game 6 or beyond. Game 6 is a large enough sample size of that season to get a representative number. You don't want to use this in week 2 or week 3. You have a couple bad games. That really doesn't define who you are as a team. 6 games is enough to define what kind of team you are. It's a third of the season. You've established that you kind of suck by this point. And teams jump ship, or not teams, but batters just don't want anything to do with this kind of team. So that's one spot that points to the Redskins. And then that bottom one here, you're playing on a dog that's got a bad spread record against a good team. Again, that's just counterintuitive to what you would normally do. Dog, they don't cover, they're playing a good team. Why do we want to play a team that doesn't cover? They're losing us money. Because teams don't go 0-16 against the spread every year. They do cover. And this is a spot, historically, where this kind of dog covers. And, I look around Twitter and stuff, and I see people on this, Kyle Shanahan wants revenge because, the Redskins fired his dad and all this nonsense. The furthest thing from Kyle Shanahan's mind is, I gotta beat the shit out of the Redskins because they fired my dad. He just wants to win the game. That's all he cares about. People come up with, must wins is another one of my favorites. This team, they must win. I'll tell you what, check out week 17 this year, the NFL season. Go back some seasons if you want. And look at the teams that had to win to make the playoffs, playing teams that didn't have anything to play for. And watch how many teams that didn't have anything to play for win or cover the game. Usually win the game. Happens all the time. This whole gotta win, must win, teams are revenge, all that nonsense. That's just shit people like to think up of to make them feel like they're on to something. Hold on, guys. Let me drink something. It's just so ridiculous. It's hard to win games in the NFL without finding some kind of bullshit motivation about needing to win or revenge. So, not only that, the Niners played a Monday night game against the Browns. They blew them out on national television. Short week to go to LA. Huge divisional rivalry game. They're geeked up for that. They beat the Rams. That was a physical game. Okay, that took a lot out of the Niners. They're missing Joe Staley. They're missing McGlinchey. They're missing their fullback. They're banged up. Now they travel cross-country, 10 o'clock start, against the Redskins team that just got their first win. Yeah, they beat the Dolphins, but it's a win. They just got rid of that black cloud of Jay Gruden. The 2 weeks prior to that game, they lost to the Patriots and they lost to the Giants miserably because of the limbo of the coach. They get rid of the coach, they commit to running the ball, they now have an identity, and they ran the ball down the Dolphins' throats. They're going to try to do the same thing this week to the Niners. And I'm going to take every one of those 10 points with the Redskins. I think they're competitive. I think they make it a game. I think at some point they'll even have the lead in this game. And it's hard to win on the road, and it's hard to cover 10 points on the road. Give me the Redskins getting 10 points as the BIZ stinker of the week. All right, let's go to the next game. Same game. We're taking the under 42. I put this together yesterday for you. It might be down to like 41 now. This game fits a lot of spots, and most of them center around a home dog of 7 or more. Road favorite obviously is the same thing of 7 or more. See the top one. Road favorite of a touchdown or more. They have a better third down percentage and a better yards per play than their opponent. Lots of unders. A home dog. They were on the road previously. They didn't score a lot. Their time of possession wasn't awful. 31-4. Another home dog spot. Not a small home dog, but the minimum line is 2.5. They have an awful point differential. We just talked about point differential. It's game 4 or more. It's a conference game. 58-18 to the under. Then we have a home dog of 8 or more with a total of 41 or more. Huge unders. So why do big home dogs go under so often? It's because they want to shorten the game. Because they want to grind it out. when you're a dog of 7 or more, if you're a home dog of 7 or more, you're pretty inferior to your opponent. So when you're inferior to your opponent, what do? You limit possessions. You grind the clock. It's like a basketball team that's outmanned. They're not going to run up and down the court jacking threes and playing fast break basketball if they're 18-point dogs, unless that's just what they do. You're going to run clock, shorten the game when you're not as good. And the same thing applies to the NFL. You're a home dog, you run the ball. Now, what I really like about this under is that Bill Callahan, the interim coach, has committed to running the ball. He even said so. We want to get back to running the ball more. They ran it for 140 yards last week. They ran it a lot. They got Adrian Peterson. And they're going to do the same thing this week to the Niners. The Niners, the one thing they struggle with is running the ball. Opponents that run the ball, they have a great pass rush, but you could run the ball on them. There's also a little weather involved this week. I believe some light rain is in the forecast. Grass surface, early start. I could see the 49ers hopefully getting off to a sluggish start, and the Redskins hopefully controlling clock, running the ball, wet weather, conservative game plan. Don't see a whole lot of chunk plays. I like this under 42. Really like this under 42. So we're going to take the Niners and Redskins to go under 42. As I said, it might be 41 now. I got it at 42 when I put this together yesterday. It was 42. So Niners, Redskins, let's take that under. All right, we got the Raiders this week at 5.5. They fit a couple spots, and one of them is we're going to play against the favorite that turned it over a lot last week, and you turn it over more times than their opponent. It's 48-19 when you play against these teams. Okay, there's another spot here where you're playing against a home favorite up to double digits. They're off of a home game. They're a good team. They're over 50%. So a good home favorite off of a home game, first part of the season, and they didn't make the playoffs last season. So why is that important? Well, you didn't make the playoffs last season. Now all of a sudden you're a good team. You're over 500. You tend to be a little overvalued early in the season. You're getting off to a good start. You see 48-8. I got a few other filters in this one, but it's 48-8. It's really good. The Raiders also have a 62-yard net rushing advantage. I love teams that are dogs that could run the ball better than their opponent. They're getting Gabe Jackson back this week on their offensive line. That is a big addition. All-pro caliber guard. The Packers are a little banged up. They're just off of a tough Monday night, last-second divisional win against the Lions. Short week. I like the Raiders. Getting 5.5 there. There is no advantage. I looked it up. When a team's off, the Raiders off of a bye. When a team's off of a bye playing a team that's on a short week, I looked up. There really is no advantage. You might think that there is, but I looked at the numbers. There is no kind of advantage in case anybody's wondering if a team coming off of a bye is playing a team off of a short week. So there's no significant advantage there. But we're going to take the Raiders. They're playing good ball. Just had the week off from that big win against the Bears in London. And we're going to play the Raiders this week. Keep that close, getting 5.5. Giants, Cardinals. Take the over 50.5. That's a pretty sizable number. But I've never had a problem taking overs with big numbers. I don't have a problem taking unders with small numbers, as you just saw when I gave out that Niner Redskin game. This spot has a couple of this game has a couple nice spots. You see there, we want to play the over when we have a dog with a poor defense, and their last two games they had a really good offensive performance. So Cardinals trigger it. They have a poor defense. They give up a lot of points. Last two games they've gained a lot of yards and scored some points. So that's one spot is 36-10 to the over. The next spot is a team, their previous game, they passed for 100 yards more than their season-to-date average. They scored 30 or more, and it's a non-divisional turf game. So let's break this down. You threw for more than your season-to-date average, so your offense is humming. You scored 30 points. That's self-explanatory. Non-divisional. Division games are more close to the vest and tend to go under. Non-divisional games in general go over. So you want a non-divisional game and a turf game, artificial turf game, field turf. Fast track, good footing, conducive to scoring. It's 31-8, and this spot has gone over 25 out of the last 27 times. It's 25-2 to the over the last 27 times that this spot has come up. I was reading where Saquon Barkley should be active. Evan Ingram, the tight end, should be active. They do have some injuries in their wide receivers, but they've had that for a few weeks with Shepard with a concussion and so on. The weather should be fine. It's a little wind, nothing to worry about. Weather in the 60s. Nothing wrong with the weather. Barkley would be a great addition to that game, to that offense. This line opened at, I believe, 49 or 48.5. It's up to 50.5. We're not getting the best number, but Arizona's offense is clicking. Both these teams' defenses are not very good. The Giants' defense isn't very good. The Arizona defense isn't very good. Both young quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks, playing well. Let's play this game to go over the number, over 50.5. All right, we've got the Colts and the Texans to go under. There you have it right there. We are playing under when we have a road team that's on a road trip previous away. So the Texans were on the road last week. They're on the road this week. They're a really good team. They won 11 games last season, went to the playoffs. And their previous game, they ran for more yards than they had penalty yards. 71 unders, 25 overs, and this spot has gone under 30 consecutive times. 30 straight unders in this spot. 30. I also have a lot of team-specific trends that go to the under. I didn't want to bog the page down and spend a lot of time putting it all up here. Just take my word for it. But there are a lot of specific team tendencies that point to the under in this game. So we're going to take the Texans and the Colts to go under 47. Colts are getting back their stud linebacker. They're at home off of a bye. Houston just had a big win against the Chiefs. It's the divisional game. They tend to go under. So let's take this under 47. It opened at 48. It's now 47. Taking the under Texans and the Colts. All right, Minnesota laying 2. Couple of spots. Not a huge sample size on these angles, but the first one, we're playing a team on the road on a Sunday, and it's a divisional game, and their next game is on a Thursday. It's 15-1 against the spread. So basically, you have a team that's going to be playing on a short week coming up. So they're going to put all of their efforts into this game because this is a divisional game. It's a very, very important game. And they're on a short week, so they know they will not have a lot of time to prepare for the next game, which makes this game vitally important. So teams really, really focus on this game. They really prepare for this game. It's a divisional game, and it's a game that they really want to have. And you see the record here is 15-1. The other one is a road team, the Vikings, that were just at home. It's a divisional game, and their opponent's on a short week. Okay, it's pretty self-explanatory. And that Detroit short week was a ball-busting loss on the road, too. So their opponent played a Monday night road game. Just a rough loss for the Lions. Now they got to bounce back on a short week. Yeah, they'll be back home. But you look at the... I copy and pasted this Stat Fox thing here. You see the Vikings with the better defense. They allow 15 points a game. Much better scoring defense. They run the ball much better. They stop the run much better. I love teams with the better defense and the better rushing offense and the better rushing defense. Just when you can control the line of scrimmage with the run game, it's pretty significant. And let's go with the Vikings. That line is flipped, which I'm not crazy about. It went from -2 or +2 to -2. I'm not crazy about the public jumping on the Vikings, but they do fit a couple systems. They do have a nice set of numbers there with their scoring defense and their rushing. So let's take the Vikings, and we're going to lay the 2 points. All right, these last 2 games I have are a couple games. I really don't have any systems, any angles on them, but the first game we have is the Ravens getting 3.5. First of all, they're the better defense getting points. I always like the team that's getting points to have the better scoring defense. It's one of the first things I look at as kind of a baseline. You see the Ravens allow a point less per game. And again, as I just mentioned with the Vikings, they really control the line of scrimmage. I know Lamar Jackson is a huge part of that running offense, but their net rushing is 124 yards, which is the yards you gain rushing versus the yards you allow rushing. 124 yards a game difference. Seattle's is around 38. So the Ravens have a significant edge in net rushing. And the models that I look at support the Ravens. They're getting 3.5 points. I like them getting those points with the hook. That might have ticked down to 3 this morning. I'm not sure. Check your books. You could probably find a 3.5 somewhere. That might be 3.5. But I like the Ravens in that spot to keep that really close. And then we're also going to take the Saints. They're back-to-back road games. They're getting 3.5. Again, the models also support the Saints. The power ratings are even. So when you look at the power ratings and you adjust for home field advantage for the Bears, it's even. This should be a pick 'em according to the power ratings. Saints are getting 3.5 points, so they're getting a 3.5 point edge on the line compared to the power rating. That's significant. Right now, the Bears are really a smoke and mirrors team. I know they have a huge rep with their defense and Khalil Mack and their all that, but they're getting outgained 46 yards a game. They're averaging 4 fewer first downs a game than their opponents. And they're the second best turnover team in the league. That is what's kept them afloat. And that doesn't last forever. Sometimes turnovers are forced. And a lot of times turnovers are just random. Fumble, ball bounces a certain way, interceptions, ball deflected, what have you. And yes, there are teams that absolutely deserve the turns that they get, but there are also a lot of turns that are random. You look at their record after the bye week. The last 5 bye weeks, they are winless and coverless. Okay, they have not covered or won a game the last 5 seasons after a bye. There's also several team-specific tendencies that point to the Saints here. So, Saints 3.5 with that nasty defense. I think that Chase Daniel is still starting. I don't really care. That offense is really struggling, and that defense of the Saints is nasty. Teddy Bridgewater is doing a really solid job for the Saints, replacing Breeze. We're going to take the 3.5 points here. I just think that's too much. It might even be up to 4. I see right now Pinnacle has it at 4. So if you can find a 4, obviously that's even better. I got 3.5. I'm going to grade it at 3.5. But there are some 4s out there, it looks like. I'm going to take the Saints. Take the Saints, getting 3.5. All right. Our playlist. The lowdown. Yes. It's an excuse to play some boss gags also. 9 games. I didn't have any teasers this week. I didn't see any games that really jumped out at me. I know that the Lions qualify for a Wong teaser, and also the Chargers qualify for a Wong teaser, and now that the Eagles are plus 2.5, they qualify for a Wong teaser. So I don't like playing teasers when I'm on the other side. So the Lions are getting 2, but if I'm on the Vikings, how am I going to root for a teaser when I got the other side? So I don't like playing teasers when I have the other side. So the Chargers and the Eagles, for those wondering about teasers, those are the 2 teams that would qualify for that Wong teaser. We've talked about Wong teasers previously. If anybody's interested, if you go back 2-3 weeks, I talked about teasers and how to play them. But no teasers this week. 9 games. We have the Rams and the Falcons under 55. Got the Redskins getting 10. Just think that's too many points. I think the Redskins can keep that close. I think that's a grind of a game, as we are also on the under 42. Raiders getting 5.5. Hope they can keep that close. Packers off that huge Monday night win. They're a little banged up. See if the Raiders can keep that momentum going that they have. Cardinals and Giants over 50.5. 2 young quarterbacks, 2 bad defenses. So hope they get that going. Texans, Colts under 47. Vikings, the Ravens, the Saints. Mostly dogs. We have one favorite. Mostly unders, with an over thrown in there. So there are the 9 plays that we have. So let's get on with this. Alright, the Florida Pete Biz combo play. We're going to take the Redskins as the 2-unit play this week, everybody. Talked to Pete a couple nights ago. We're going over the plays. He says, man, I really like the Redskins this week. I said, so do I. So this is actually our first Florida Pete Biz combo stinker combo play. I don't think we've had that before. Maybe we should make this 9 units. I don't know. We'll keep it at 2. Redskins, I've talked about it. I've talked about the reasons why I like the Skins this week. And if they lose by 20, I'm sure I'll have everybody tell me you're an idiot. The hell are you doing taking a shitty team for 2 units? And then when they cover, just like last week, I told you guys when we took the Jets, people were going to question you guys, what are you taking the Jets for? Really? The Jets, they're horrible. I told y'all. I tell you guys because Biz said so. And then when after the Jets win, you're going to go up to those guys and say, see, I told you. Hopefully after this week, you're going to be able to tell some other people, see, I told you. Redskins, take the 10, 2 units. I think they can be competitive this week. I think there's a lot of things that point in their favor. I think that's a lot of points. So the Florida Pete Biz combo play, Washington plus 10. And now for the final play of the week, our Biz Stewie best bet. There it is. I was kind of torn on which one to take this week. I didn't want to take 2. We did another Biz Stewie combo, and I'm going to take the Cardinals and the Giants over 50.5. I looked at a few plays. That Niner Redskin under, I was really looking at that one. Just wasn't sure I wanted to put 4 units into one game. And then, I was also looking at that Ram Falcon under, but I decided to go, and that, the Texan Colt game I really like too. I decided to go with this Cardinal Giants game, and the main reason was that 25-2 streak on that one system. Last 27 games, 25 have gone under. I really like that. I think I know we had one this week that had 30 consecutive unders, so I was really torn between them. But Saquon coming back, the bad defenses. The Cardinals are clicking right now on offense. They're not a juggernaut, but they're moving the ball. The Giants, Daniel Jones getting comfortable. The Cardinals don't have the greatest defense in the world. You saw what the Falcons did to them last week coming back, and the Seahawks scored 27 on them, and the Lions scored 27 on them. They give up a lot of points. So Giants at home. They're off. I believe they're off a bye week. I think they played the Vikings 2 weeks ago, and then I'm pretty sure they had a bye last week, so they're off of a bye. Get things going. So we're gonna take this over. Okay, the Cardinals, Giants over 50.5. That is our fresh best bet of the week. The Biz Stewie best bet, and I say it every week. Look at that face. How can you not trust that face? Not the guy on the right. He's kind of he's a terror. He's a terrier. Terror. But Rosie on the left, the Biz. How can you say no to that face? Take the over 50.5. All right. That is my contact information. If you want to get on my daily list of plays, hit me up, biz112763 at gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter, at bizwinners. I put out plays at halftime. I put out plays during the week. I put out plays before I get this presentation out. If I think a line's going to move too much, I put it out on Twitter. That's also where I've been putting my Thursday night plays. To start the season, I was putting out a video for Thursday games, and I kind of realized you're doing this for like one game, 2 games. It was kind of not the best use of my time to put out a video for 2 games. So the Thursday games I've just been putting out on Twitter. If you're on my distribution list, I also send it out in my emails. So if you didn't get that Kansas City Denver under last night, make sure you follow my Twitter or make sure you get on my distribution list, because that was a nice winner to start the week last night. Give me a thumbs up if you like what I do. Subscribe if you like what I do, if you want to get an alert when something comes out. I know I've noticed I've got a lot of new subscribers. Welcome to all of you. And again, spread the word, which many of you have done. Deli, letting your boys know about this. Rodney, my boy Tony, let you know about it. Let people know. People use this in many different ways. Some people, they just play every play. I like what you do. I'm playing them all. Some people will cherry pick the ones they like, which is fantastic. They like, wow, I really like that system. Like for instance, that Hawaii Boise State over we had last week. That 20-0 system where the total flew over the system. Though people will like pick out specific games based on the system or any type of analysis I give, or maybe I support something that they already have an opinion of, or maybe I give a differing opinion of a side that they're on, and maybe it makes them rethink the game, maybe it gets them off of the game. Maybe they still play the game anyway, but it's another piece of information that they use when they're looking at games. And then some people just watch this just to get my views on the game, and it just adds to the information that I use to make their own selection. So however you use the information, I'm not here so that every last person that watches this plays every last game that I put out. If you play every game, great. You're doing well. Some of you, like I said, you just take some of the information, just take some of the games. However you use it, I just want it to be of some value to you. I think it is. So if you know anybody who likes some football, interested in football, watch wagers, interested, give them a holler. All right. That's going to do it. I thank everybody for spending some time with me this week. Welcome all of new folks. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some value out of it. Most importantly, I hope I provide you with some winners this week. Great week of football. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Good luck with all of your action this week. Nice card both days. I'm going to go see Joe Bonamassa tonight. Looking forward to that. Whatever you guys choose to do, I hope you enjoy it. Again, thanks for joining me as we continue on through this NFL season. It's been great so far. Let's hope it continues. As always, Mark Knopfler and his crew are going to send us out of here. Have a great day, a great weekend. Good luck with all your action. I'll be back next week with the review and week 8. We'll see you next week.
Check out Guitar George. He knows all the chords. But it's strictly rhythm, he doesn't want to make it cry or sing. If then an old guitar is all he can afford, when he gets up under the lights to play his thing, and Harry doesn't mind if he doesn't make the scene. He's got a daytime job, he's doing alright. He can play the honky-tonk line saving it up Friday night with the Sultans, with the Sultans of Swing. And a crowd of young boys, they're fooling around in the corner, drunk and dressed in their best brown baggies in their platform soles. They don't give a damn about any trumpet playing band. It ain't what they call rock and roll. And the Sultans, yeah, the Sultans, they play Creole. Creole. And then the man steps right up to the microphone. He says at last, just as the time bell rings, good night, now it's time to go home. Then he makes it fast with one more thing. We are the Sultans. We are the Sultans.